phase 1 trial to see if it's safe. That's the fastest that's ever been done. That's the good news. The challenging news is that even at that rocket speed, it's going to take a few months to show that the initial safety is okay. Then you go into a phase 2 trial, which instead of involving 45 people, which we have in the phase 1 trial, it involves hundreds, if not thousands of people. That will take another 6 to 8 months to even know if it works. So at the fastest we can go, it's going to take a year to a year and a half to know if we have a vaccine that we can use. There's another element to safety, and that is if you vaccinate someone and they make an antibody response and then they get exposed and infected, does the response that you induce actually enhance the infection and make it worse? And the only way you'll know that is if you do an extended study, not in a normal volunteer who has no risk of infection, but in people who are out there in a risk situation. This would not be the first time, if it happened, that a vaccine that looked good in initial safety actually made people worse. There was the history of the respiratory syncytial virus vaccine in children, which paradoxically made the children worse. One of the HIV vaccines that we tested several years ago actually made individuals more likely to get infected. So you can't just go out there and give it.
Oh, so there you go. Now, I mean, look, man,
It's wild.
Isn't that pretty wild to hear him say so? He flat out says that, look, even if the initial testing looks good, there's no way we could know for years. But then as soon as the initial testing looked good, not only did he say, you have to get this, but said anyone who's against this is anti-science. This is why I'm telling you, it's not that Fauci's wrong. It's that he's evil. Like, he's lying through his teeth. He knows exactly what he's doing. And then here, I'm just saying, and I'm telling you, I don't know if this is true or not. I'm not like claiming some expertise that I don't have. I'm just saying that he himself, this is not just some crazy Alex Berenson conspiracy theory that like, oh, maybe this could actually make people worse. This was Fauci himself was saying that, oh yeah, no, this has happened before, and it's certainly scientifically, theoretically possible. And then you look at some of these countries, Israel being a great example, who rushed out, got the highest vaccine compliance. I mean, Israel at this point, I think they're almost 90% of their adult population has been double vaccinated. Something like 80% has been boosted as well. And then you see just a few months ago, they had their worst single day for hospitalizations and deaths. Well, what's that about? You're telling me that you had your worst day for hospitalizations and your worst day for deaths. Worse than when there was no vaccine, worse than when there were deadlier strands of COVID out there and nobody was vaccinated. I don't know. It sure seems to line up with this idea that Fauci's throwing out there that perhaps this actually makes the body fight it off not as well.